I'm a fan of Stephen A. Smith with the sports shit. I always have been. I like how he talks his shit. He can be a dickhead. I like that shit. But then when he went over trying to dog Jasmine Crockett, telling her how she needs to talk to, I was like, yo, what the fuck are you doing, son?
Black women and black men, we vote about the same rate. But if you want to be the nominee, black women gonna have to march on doors for you. They're gonna have to gather. They're gonna have to drive people to the polls. They're gonna have to stand in front of malls and talk to you about candidates. They're gonna have to work for you. Imagine what black woman you think gonna work for him?
Stephen A. Smith built his name arguing about LeBron, Jordan, and the Cowboys. Now he's talking about the presidency, and comedians are not letting that slide. On their respective podcasts, Godfrey and D.L. Hugley both went in on Stephen A. Smith, not just for his politics, but for what they believe his politics represent. And while their styles are different, their conclusion is the same. Stephen A. Smith might be great at debating sports, but they don't trust him in the political arena. On In Godfrey We Trust, Godfrey didn't ease into it. He introduced the term, defective Negroes.
Stephen A. Smith, first of all.
Oh my God.
This
you had to go.
You know, I have a new term, defective Negroes.
Yes.
You know, on an assembly line, when you have there's toys that are going, it's the same toy, but there's some that are defective. One is arm's a little fucked up. It's defective Negroes. It's Stephen A. Smith, Candace Owens, it's Jason Whitlock. It's all of these defective Negroes. You know
I thought they rolled Jason Whitlock up and threw him out in the can of raid because I haven't heard from him in a minute.
He hasn't been saying anything super controversial yet against black people. I don't think anything has been really hitting the wall. But Stephen A. Smith talked about. Did I send that video to you, Stephen A. Smith, talking about the presidency? Listen
he plugged him.
Watch this.
Yeah, okay.
Just watch. Watch how fucking crazy this is. I hope we can all hear it out the earphone. I got it. Ready?
Crime that exists in the streets of New York. You wouldn't hear about me saying defund the police. We ain't defunding any police. I'm calling 911 when there's a problem. I know you're calling 911 when there's a problem. I'll be damned if I'm going to have less police officers out there. There's going to be more. That's me. I would focus on a flourishing economy and making sure we did everything we could, because I believe when you have something to lose, you know how to behave.
Stephen A. Smith you don't want that Uncle Tom fucking running for shit, because he's going to push those same policies and go against black people. That's what I got. That's what I got from that.
But I don't think... I mean, yes, he's an Uncle Tom. Yes, he's a coon. I agree 100%. Racist white people use him as a token to be like, look at my black friend. Look at my black friend.
Yeah, of course.
They're not going to vote for him.
The subtext of their critique wasn't just political. It was cultural. They see Stephen A.'s rise in political commentary as part of a pattern. Black public figures rewarded for criticizing black communities in ways that mainstream networks approve of. For Godfrey, the problem isn't just that Stephen A. talks politics, it's what he chooses to emphasize and who benefits from that emphasis. Over on his own platform, The D.L. Hughley Show, D.L. Hughley approached it differently. D.L. mocked the irony of a man hosting First Take having political takes that are, in his words, consistently off base.
You remember when he was on a View when he derided General Kelly?
Yes.
And now the very thing that General Kelly was trying to avoid, we're finding out has some merit, that he was trying to, in essence, encourage people to not put themselves in this situation. Like, because they're going to look at everybody, and all those people could potentially, and a lot of those people don't have the rank and tenure to have, the kind of legal representation you need to fight something like that. But he doesn't get that upset about anything. Like when he got upset and I'm not in the military but I know people in the military.
He said I have family members who are in the military.
Everybody does. And even they knew how wrong that was. Or when he said this about Donald Trump.
As much as people may have been abhorred by Donald Trump's statement weeks ago, talking about how black folks, he's hearing that black folks find him relatable because what he's going through is similar to what black Americans have gone through. He wasn't lying. He was telling the truth. When you see the law law enforcement, the court system, and everything else being exercised against him, it is something that black folks throughout this nation can relate to with some of our historic, iconic figures. We've seen that happen throughout society. So no matter what race, what ethnicity you may emanate from, we relate to you when you're suffering like that, because we know we have.
Black people relate to Donald Trump because he had felonies. I got a lot of cousins with felonies. I don't listen to none of them niggas. Like, who do you listen to because they got a record?
But DL's most pointed critique was strategic. He doesn't see Stephen A's potential presidential run as serious. He sees it as useful to Republicans. DL compared him to Jill Stein and Kanye West, candidates who can siphon just enough votes to shift outcomes.
Like, he's talking about he's going to run, he always holds out this thing, how he's going to potentially run for the president. We already have a dude who's not experienced, a dude who can't admit he's wrong, a dude who's loud. We already have, and we have the white version of it, which is going to have a higher resale value. We already have a dude that does that. Like, in order for him, and he always, like, well, I alluded to this earlier, the American people say that overwhelmingly, they believe that he's cruel, racist, and corrupt. Stephen A. Smith says this.
Does you worry about racism if he ran for president?
No. I know it exists. I know that you can't escape it, but I do not believe it is as prevalent as some on the left would like us to believe. I do believe a vast majority of Americans judge you on the content of your individual character rather than the color of your skin.
How do you not see the very things everybody else is seeing? He says that he thinks that the left, it is not as bad as the left makes it. Now, there's no doubt that as a nation, we have made great strides. The nation is not, but I would also say it's fair to say that this administration has eroded them. He's trying to take us out of the history book. We had a Super Bowl that just happened where half the country wouldn't watch it because a Spanish dude was singing. But the left is making that up.
Mm-hmm. Both Godfrey's crew and DL circled back to one recurring issue, Stephen A's tension with prominent black women. DL listed names like Joy Reid, Kamala Harris, and Jasmine Crockett. His argument was blunt. Black women are the backbone of democratic victories. Alienate them and you're finished. He joked that Stephen A's hairline would return before black women backed him politically.
And I don't know how you become the Democratic nominee. To be the Democratic nominee, you know who you need? Black women. You need black women. Look at some of the things he said about black women.
When we make the argument and we want to bring race into the equation, we got to have it. We got to have the evidence. It can't be subliminal. It can't be something that's assumed. It can't be something that can that is rife with plausible deniability. We got to know it. And if you're going to support Joy Reid, the best way for you to do it was to make sure she didn't suffer a 47% drop in the ratings. How Jasmine Crockett chooses to express herself, I'm like, is that going to help your district in Texas? Aren't you there to find a way to get stuff done as opposed to just being an impediment to what Trump wants? How much work goes into that?
To use your platform in order to not only come for me, but consistently kind of have a track record of coming for black women, I was just very disappointed in him.
They're paying you not for your numbers, my friend. They're paying you because you are willing to say the nasty things about black people that they want to say.
Your reaction?
They should be ashamed of themselves.
Many black women have had this criticism on Stephen A.
Who are the many? Because I think they're the few.
Black women and black men, we vote about the same rate. But if you want to be the nominee, black women gonna have to march on doors for you. They're gonna have to gather. They're gonna have to drive people to the polls. They're gonna have to stand in front of malls and talk to you about candidates. They're gonna have to work for you. Imagine what black women you think gonna work for him? I'm not saying that people wouldn't vote for him, but what black woman's gonna get out of her bed, drive, and start canvassing for you?
Well, especially after all the things you said about Joy Reid, the ones that we love.
Right.
Joy Reid,
you didn't say nothing about no brothers nobody hate. You can talk all you want about Nicki Minaj, nobody give a fuck about that, but you're talking about these people that black women love. These are the people who they aspire for their daughters to be. They hold them up. Like, who wouldn't want their daughters to be like Kamala Harris or Joy Reid?
Godfrey's panel echoed that sentiment. For them, the pattern of criticism aimed at black women reinforces the idea that Stephen A. punches in a predictable direction.
Well, the fact that he was putting Jasmine Crockett down, talking all this shit about her, he just seems like he knows politics better than people who are in politics who do this shit every day. Yeah. Like his sports shit, I'm a fan of Stephen A. Smith with the sports shit. I always have been. I like how he talks his shit. He can be a dickhead. I like that shit. But then when he went over trying to dog Jasmine Crockett, telling her how she needs to talk to people, I was like, yo, what the fuck are you doing, son?
Stephen A. Smith has spent a lion's share of his career debating people with CPT, okay? Or whatever the football brain shit is. Okay.
Bitch, you can't be making up acronyms.
You can't shorten Compton.
Don't lose the plot.
What makes this interesting is that neither Godfrey nor DL deny Stephen A.'s talent. They acknowledge his skill, his voice, his command of a room. But their issue is trust. They question whether his political positions are rooted in principle or performance. They question whether his messaging strengthens the community or fractures it. And they question whether his presidential flirtations are serious ambition or media leverage. Stephen A. built a career being the loudest man in the room. Now he's stepping into a space where volume alone doesn't carry the arguments. Comedians are watching closely, not because they dislike him personally, but because when someone with that level of platform shifts from sports to politics, the stakes change. And right now, in their view, he hasn't convinced them that he's ready for that shift. The real question isn't whether Stephen A. can debate, it's whether people trust where he's trying to lead.